You haven't had any major... You never had any major injuries?
I've never had a broken bone. I've never had stitches. You know, the worst that I've been hurt was the drop kick off the apron, and then one time New Jack dropped an elbow on me on the floor, and it just felt like the building fell in on me. But other than that, I mean, you know, I've pretty much been injury-free. Thank God.
Hey, you know what? You know what's funny is that happened to me, too. I'm not in any sort of a match or anything, but I was just, you know, kind of fucking around, and my buddy dropped an elbow on me, and it took maybe 45 minutes to an hour later, and I couldn't move my entire neck and upper body. I had to go to the emergency room. And we were just messing around. It wasn't New Jack dropping an elbow on me. It was just a little 150-pound, 60-pound guy dropping an elbow on me, just playing around, and it fucked me up.
Well, here's the funny thing. It was in ECW. It was in ECW. And New Jack actually did a fucking balcony dive on me. I laid on the table, he did the balcony dive, and, you know, I was perfect after that, but then he dropped a fucking elbow on me just standing on his feet, and it felt like the goddamn building fell in on me. So, it just, you know, it's funny how shit happens.
And what hurt there? Did it tweak any muscles, or did it just concuss you?
You know, I was out for about... I was back in ECW the next weekend.
But you had a concussion then, is what it was.
No, it just knocked the breath out of me. I wasn't expecting it, and it just felt like it crushed me in. But yeah, I was back the next weekend, ready to go again. I'm just stupid like that.
How often did you have to wrestle with New Jack? A lot, or
I probably had 50 matches with New Jack.
And that was the only time you really got hurt? Because he's a pretty crazy guy.
That's the only time that I've ever been hurt by New Jack. And that wasn't intentionally. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he wasn't out trying to cripple you or anything, but he wanted to, he wanted to get his move over or in. Let me see, because you were in the original ECW, I'm sure a lot of people want to know all about the ECW days, because you were there right all the way to the end. Like, you know, like, could you tell people about, like, the end of ECW? Like, because you were just sitting around. Because I know the last show was in Arkansas, and you're a Southern guy, so you were kind of right there, probably.
No, actually,
it wasn't Arkansas, or was it Missouri? Oh, you weren't in that one?
I didn't go because here's the deal. You know, before ECW, and I'll be honest with you, before ECW, you know, I never made any money in wrestling. I mean, you know, maybe $100, $150 here and there, very seldom. And then once I started ECW, you know, I started getting offers from independent bookings, and then, you know, I missed a couple of shows, and then when they had their last two shows, somebody wanted to book me in North Carolina for like a stupid amount of money, and I was like, there'll be other shows, and so I didn't go.
Were you in Smoky Mountain before ECW or after?
Before.
And how did that work out? Did you, because that was Jim Cornette's promotion, and he was like doing sort of a territory thing, and him and Paul Lee didn't like each other's style, or Jim Cornette didn't like Paul Lee's style, or whatever you want to believe, or whatever. But did you like when you were leaving did you leave directly from Smoky Mountain to go to ECW?
Oh no, I left Smoky Mountain. I just quit going. I got hooked up with some girl, and I was just like, fuck this. And then I went back to the Indies, and then Kid Cash told me that he'd give me a tryout with ECW, and he did, and then pretty much the rest is history.
And you got hooked up with Easy Money and Julio De Niro in that whole thing, and then you were on pay-per-view the whole all the time. Like, that's where I ever first saw you. Was on the pay-per-views, because we would get the pay-per-views every month or every 2 months for ECW, and they were incredible. And that was one of the good things that would have come out, because every month you'd see some crazy shit you never saw before, and you guys had some crazy shit no one ever saw before. And then came in Joey Matthews and Christian York, and all these guys would come in and do crazy shit like ROH style stuff that they're doing now. And,
you have to. I mean, you have to if you wanted to keep your job. I mean, look who you were competing against: Rob Van Dam, Jerry Lynn, Sabu. I mean, fuck, you know, you had to be different. Otherwise, you're just another place in the card, you know, just another match on the show.
Right. Well, yeah, of course. I mean, yeah, you're competing against the best guys that were around at the time, for sure. And especially because, is it true they would say at ECW during the pay-per-view, they wanted everyone to go out and steal the show? I mean, if you could, go out and do it?
Well, that was every night in ECW. Every night in ECW. You know, ECW believed that the fans deserved to see the show when they got there, you know, and that was ECW's motto, you know, you're here for a reason. Show the people why you're here. So, you know, and the guys wanted to do it. The guys that were doing it loved the business and loved going out and performing in front of the fans and showing the fans, you know, hey, this is why I'm in ECW. I'm not here because I'm friends with somebody or I politic my way into the business. I'm here because I love to do what I do and I'm good at it. And I want to show these people why.
Now, when they started up the new ECW, you weren't on any of those shows, were you? I don't remember seeing you on any of those.
No,
like the one night stands or the. What happened with that? Why weren't you?
Well, here's the deal with that. Tommy Dreamer called me before ECW, you know, before they announced that ECW was coming back, and offered me, you know, a deal. And at the time, I was going to Canada and England. I was going to be gone for like a month. And he says, well, you know, when you get back, call me. I'll send you your deal. You sign it, and, you know, you'll be a part of ECW. Well, while I was gone, I came back. There's no deal. You know, I asked him, what's the deal? And he's like, well, you're under contract with WSX. I can't even talk to you about a contract. And really, I wasn't, because WSX sent me a contract, and I mailed it back, but I forgot to sign a couple places. So after the show, they sent it back. And, you know, I just threw it up in the cabinet. So really, I wasn't technically under contract with WSX or MTV or, you know, whatever. And so I called Dreamer. I'm like, well, if I get out my contract with WSX, you know, can I have a spot in ECW? He's like, yes, you can. So I called Klein Rock, and he let me out my contract. And then I called Dreamer, and he goes, well, they've lost interest in you. I went, nah, why wouldn't they, when they could have Mark Henry?
Well, that's something I did. That's something I did want to ask you about too, because you were on the first episode of Wrestling Society X. Did they just sort of, when you were under contract with them, when they shot the season, did they just kind of do it in a weekend?
Yeah, actually they did. They did. They did it one weekend. They flew us up there, did the whatever, the Battle Royal or whatever, and then I didn't hear from them.
And they didn't use you for any of the other episodes, because I didn't see all the episodes. I watched like the first like 3 or something in it, so I didn't see them all. But did you get used in the rest of the episodes at all?
No, actually, come here. I think their plan was that, I think Klein Rock told me that originally they was going to team me and Adam Pearce up. But I don't know whatever happened to it. I mean, I ain't the kind to stay on the phone in Klein Rock's ear going, hey, what are you going to do with me? You know, if you're going to use me, what are you going to pay me? Tell me where you want me, what you want me to do, and let's do it, you know. So I really don't know what their plans were, even if they had any. I just know that I did the season premiere or whatever, and then signed the contract, and they paid me, and that was pretty much it.
When you signed a contract, how long was the contract for?
You know what? I really
was it like a year or 2 years?
I think it was a year, and they ran
so
one
what's
show.
Your other
so yay!
Right. Yeah, but you got. I mean, I don't want to like get in your business or anything, but how much could you tell us how much the contract was for a whole year for a WSX on the TV show?
I guess it was per appearance or whatever. You know, they paid. I think when I came out for the season premiere, I think they paid me like $750
for the one match. For the one show. Yeah, for a Battle Royal, which lasted like 3 minutes, which was awesome. Oh, hey, there you go. Yeah, well, yeah, those matches for the level of talent they had, the matches were really sad. At least from the way they cut them up and put them on TV. It was like, they had
to do too much.
They had the best guys. They had the best guys on Earth as on their roster, and then these matches just looked like shit on TV. But for $750